right, so let's look at slide 25 in our digital journal. And we are going to drag and drop to complete the table. That's what our instructions say. So this is less than. So the symbol for less than is that one. So make sure you're dragging and dropping. Less than or equal to has a line underneath. Greater than and greater than or equal to. Make sure you have yours over there completed. Description. Let's look at what the description will look like whenever you graph it on a number line. Anytime it's or equal to, you're going to have a closed circle. Anytime it's just less than, greater than, it's going to be an open circle. So this is less than, and on a number line, the numbers that are less go left. So we are going to have an open circle left. But anytime that it is or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. And this is also less than, so it's going to go left. Greater than is going to go right because the numbers on going right are getting bigger. So that'll be open because it's not or equal to. Open and right. Go. And then greater than or equal to is going to be closed and right. It's going to be a closed circle. Okay, let's look at what the lines are going to look like. So we want an open circle and left. So the graph line will look like that. If you want to make it a little smaller, you can. And it's kind of hard to see on mine, that bright color. So we're going to do just a gray. Open and left. Less than or equal to is going to be closed and left. So drag that one over there. Greater than, oh, I misspelled greater than, didn't I? Let's fix that. Let's put a little text box over the top of this. And put than, and then do the fill color can be that. So I inserted text right here, and I made the fill color of it to be the same color as the background, which is the paint can right here. So I fixed it. See, this was, there we go. That looks better. All right, open and right for greater than. Pull this in. And then greater than or equal to is closed and right. Okay, interval notation is the next way to represent inequalities. If you are going on a number line, going on and on, left, that goes to negative infinity. And then if you stop at this number, you are not including that number. So it is going to be negative infinity to a number with parentheses around it. For intervals, you're telling what is the smallest number, what's the biggest number for that inequality. So the smallest number is negative infinity, and the largest number is some number. I just put a number there. We have parentheses around both sides. Infinity is always matched with parentheses. And then if it's not equal to, if it's an open circle, then it's also going to be a parentheses. But if it is less than or equal to, you use a bracket. So we're going to drag this one over here, and it should have negative infinity. I left off the negative. So add the negative there. Negative infinity to some number. Anytime the inequality includes a number, it's the or equal to, you put a bracket. So this one has a bracket, and then infinity is always matched with parentheses. Okay, greater than. Greater than means the smallest number, and then you go to infinity in the positive direction. It's parentheses because it's not included. Make it a little bigger. So it's from some number going off into infinity in the positive direction. So it's going right. But if it's included, then you're going to use a bracket on the number, like this one. Did y'all learn this last year?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So this is a review, hopefully. Okay, so you can always refer back to this slide whenever you are drawing the inequalities or whenever you're writing the interval notation. Okay, let's go to slide 26. I'm going to zoom in so I can see this up here. Inequalities on a number line. Graph the given inequality on the number line. So let's look at the first one. X is greater than 5. So if it's greater, which direction is it going to go?
Right.
Right. And is it going to be open or closed?
Open.
Open. So I'm going to grab the open one. But I need to switch it around to go to the other side. So I should grab a side. And this is really big. So I think I'm going to make it smaller. You can go right beside the line color and make it a little smaller. Make mine blue. There we go. Let's also write the interval notation. So click on the text box right here. Click on the text box. We're going to do a little text box here. It's greater than 5. So if we look back at slide 25, is it going to be a parenthesis or a bracket with 5? Parenthesis, 5, and then it goes to infinity. See if we can do a symbol. Let me see if there's a symbol. Special characters. I'm going to see if there's an infinity. Oh, there is. Go to insert special characters, and you can actually insert the infinity sign. Just search infinity.
Where do you do insert?
Go to insert special characters.
Oh.
And then type in the word infinity. And it makes the infinity sign for you. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and give you time to do these 6. You're going to graph the number line, the inequality on the number line, and then you're also going to put the interval notation. So I'm going to pause it. You go ahead and finish those. Okay, so now you should have this completed. So check yours with mine. And I went ahead and wrote the key words, the description, I guess, is what it's called. Open and right, open and left, closed and left, open and left, closed and right, and open and left. This one has a decimal for some reason. I think I can edit that using Equation. Should have been a comma instead. There it is. Okay, so check yours with mine. If you need to fix it, go ahead and do that. But we are moving on to the bottom part. So if you need to fix it, hit pause, and then you can come back to it. Are there any questions about any of them, class? How did you do? Thumbs up, good. Sideways, down, not so good. Go ahead and show me. Okay, all right, cool. All right, we are going to go down to the bottom part, solving the inequalities. Solve inequalities using the same steps as we used when we solved equations. So we are going to write this in our journal, and then we can insert a picture. We do need to look at this special rule, though. But whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number on both sides, you must reverse the sign. Okay, so open up your composition book, and let's title this page Solving Inequalities, slide 26. Okay, Solving Inequalities, slide 26 should be what it is titled. And we just have those 3 examples. Let's look at the first one. Was it 4x? I don't remember. 4x plus 13 is less than or equal to 13. So we're going to solve it out. We're going to do the inequality, the interval notation, and then graphing it. So just like with the equations, we draw a line down the equal sign or down the inequality sign. Subtract 13 on both sides. We get 4x is less than or equal to 0. Then we divide by 4. So x is less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to draw my number line. I can put 0 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, and then go down -1, -2, -3, -4. And let's write the description of how this number line is going to be graphed. It's less than or equal to, so if we need to, we can go back to this slide over here. Less than or equal to, so it's going to be closed and left. So I'm going to write that out. So a closed circle on 0, and it's going to go left. Make sure you shade it darker, especially if you're not using just different colors. You shade it. You can also kind of do it like that, just to show that it's going left. Okay, so we have another problem. It is, let's see, -9, x is less than 72. Okay, so we are going to divide by -9. And this is that special rule. Anytime you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you're going to reverse this symbol. So I always circle it to help me remember that I need to flip that symbol whenever I rewrite the equation. So x, instead of being less than, it's going to be greater than now. So this is the special rule. You have to switch the symbol around. So 72 divided by a -9. -8, good. Okay, so we have -8 in the middle. Going left gets smaller. So let's skip. Let's do -9. Let's do here -10. And then this one would be -12. So I'm going to go by ones, but I'm only going to write evens. -6, -4. And this is greater than. So let's look at that slide. Greater than, open, and write. So open circle and write. And something I also noticed is look at this symbol, or look at this arrow and look at the symbol. They're the exact same. So that should be true every time you do inequalities. This symbol, this arrow, they're the same. So that kind of also tells you which way to shade. Okay, number 3. Let's see. -5/6x is less than or equal to -90. Okay, Okay, draw your line down your equal sign. We have a fraction here. How do we get rid of a fraction coefficient? Multiply by the denominator. Could we do something else to get rid of the fraction coefficient? What's that? R. Starts with R. Reciprocal. We're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So -6/5. This makes it where it's one step rather than multiplying by the denominator and then dividing by the number out front. We're doing it in one step. So this is equal to 1. So it's just x. But we have to apply that special rule. Less than or equal to becomes, greater than or equal to. Then we need to multiply negative 90 times -6/5. Do that in your calculator or on your Chromebook. Okay, when we push enter, what do we get? 108. All right, 108. X is greater than or equal to 108. So let's put in 108 in the middle. Going above, 109, 110, 11, 112. Going to go by twos. And then going down, 106, 104. Greater than or equal to is going to be, how are we going to shade it?
Right.
And right, yeah. Okay, one last thing we need to do on each one of these is do the interval notation. Because we did not do that. So look back at slide, 25? To know about interval notation. So it's where you use the bracket if it's or equal to, parentheses if it's less than, greater than, and parentheses also goes on your infinities. So for this one, you always go from left to right. So what's the furthest left it can go? It's going to go on and on and on. So what does that mean? Yeah, negative infinity. And parentheses is always paired with infinity. And then the furthest right it can go is 0. And since it's included, we do a bracket. Okay, the next one. The furthest left it goes is -8. Since it's not included, we're going to do a parentheses, kind of like a open circle. They match together. And then furthest right it can go is infinity, positive infinity, so we could just leave it with infinity. And then the last one, what's the furthest left it can go? 108. Since it's a closed circle, what do I put? Bracket. And then this goes to, it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Infinity. Infinity is always paired with parentheses. So we are done with slide 26. Take a picture and insert it in on that slide. And you do not have homework today. We are done for today.